Welcome to my hundreds and hundreds of stars critique. My name is Ben Koptik. I was a student in the Friday section of technical theater production. Before I begin, to the right, I do have my ticket right here. I have uploaded it as well. I just want to have it here just to say that I did go to the November 21st showing of Hundreds and Hundreds of Stars. That was, I believe, opening night for the public, perhaps. I'm not really sure how it works in regards to that. However, I thought it was overall very good. But let's get into it. So the title is Hundreds and Hundreds of Stars. It was written by Sandra Delgado. The play is a testament to some of the rather unfortunate circumstances and truths of the U.S.'s immigration policy. The story itself has to do it takes place in 2015 in Chicago. It tells a story of a mother and daughter, the mother's name being Clara and the daughter being Stella. It also has a lot of themes going on relating to family, relating to the beyond, and to the multiverse. There are noticeable themes like the multiverse, family, lights, stars, hence the title. Especially from gaining context from reading the play beforehand, it was a way better deal. I read the script multiple times before seeing it, and even before getting my hands dirty with it, building it, and it made it kind of that much more for me to sort of see the vision that the upper eds had in giving us, assignments to paint stuff a certain way to create the sparkling water star project that Stella actually has in the play. It seems to me that some of the design choices are likely based off of Sandra Delgado's life. I did not find much about her in terms of just her herself. I found out a lot more about her in terms of Hundreds and Hundreds of Stars. Chicago is a very foreseeable location in terms of a lot of the events that take place in the story. There are a lot of people in the city even now that struggle with some of the things that Clara is struggling with as a single mother, as someone whose immigration status is flagged. There were some, I would say, NEIU drawbacks from Stage Center, as it is a very much smaller stage. There was not a lot of crazy movement going on. There was a lot more circular movement happening. However, the set itself was really cool because it utilized the entirety of the stage. Technical aspects were all well used, I would say, considering the ways that light was brought onto the stage, as well as similar themes and sequences for the multiverse. It really connected the flow of the play and made it a more enjoyable viewing experience. Again, there's a lot of motifs, including stars, like we got down here to the bottom right. In the play, they actually had certain actors wear hoodies or vests that had sparkling lights on them, and they were considerably the quote-unquote stars within the play itself. Costumes were quite well done as well, and that kind of goes into the design, as again they had lights on them. They had a use of pre-recorded voices from the actors themselves, which was good. I thought it kind of made the ending a little bit weak in the sense that they could have done something better as opposed to just having a phone call with the actors' voices already pre-recorded. But I definitely liked the fact that, again, they elongated the stage. They used the left and right or most sections of the audience seating, and they used extra TV screens. They were able to show clips of Obama speaking while having the Obama speech in real time come over the speakers. I thought those were pretty good things that came out of that. Again, costumes were well done. It fit the times that the play was set in. It really did fit that kind of 2015 sort of, indie kind of outfits, stuff like that. However, some of the characters also had aspects to what clothes they were wearing, and it brought about to me a thinking around what costumes they were wearing based on what their character was. My best example would be Poppy, who wears that button-up shirt um, and moves quite slow because he's an older man, but he always looks like he's ready for business, versus someone like David, who's kind of more of a relaxed single. Much of the costume designs also added to the props. Ruben is probably the best character for this, as he was kind of the pothead. Obviously not in a bad way, but he was the stoner of the bunch. And he wore a lot of crazy design shirts, headbands, stuff like that. Speaking of Ruben, the props that they used for his cannabis collection and his glassware, etc., that was very well thought out as well. But I think overall the costumes and the lighting really went hand in hand, especially when considering that the stars were people themselves. To the whys of painting and lighting, painting looked all right. It was very dark most of the time. I would say that the darkness did not help what we had initially painted. It did look very natural, though. It looked like a living room, the middle of the set. I mean, there were a lot of home fixtures going on, a lot of different types of lights, not just the stage lights themselves. So here on bottom left, I have a very kind of weakly imaged, sorry about that, picture of Sandra Delgado herself. I think most of the story is based off of Delgado's life, some of the things that she noticed when, being in the U.S. There was a lot of things said by the character movement of the play. I think they were trying to communicate the hardships overall of not knowing your citizenship status, but also leading as a cultural guide into Hispanic American culture. The world of the play itself was fantastical, I would say, in the sense that it had the multi-universe going on at the same time as Clara's actual life. To the whys of acting, people were very nervous. This was probably opening night. So I really didn't take that into too much consideration. However, some of the acting kind of did drone out like the really good elements of the play itself. The story of a struggling single mother trying to make dreams come true for her young daughter in a world that is crumbling around her seems like a very blank slate sort of theme of a play, but that's really what this is about here. But the way that Sandra Delgado is able to immerse us within the timeline of almost 10 years ago and sort of show us the process of being a single mother and having doubts about your entire existence in where you've been since you grew up. It was quite an amazing thing to see live. And again, it really helped me personally to read the script itself and then go in, see what was happening with the movement of the play, with how the set was looking, stuff like that. What do these choices tell me about the characters and the world of the play? It tells me, from the standpoint of somebody who struggles with their own hardships, that this play is open to talking about hardships that life can bring some of us. This play was uncomfortable in all the right ways. Definitely considering the results of certain early November activity, it was definitely kind of a wake-up call looking into that world. 100%. The characters themselves have choices sort of based around their age range as well. The play has a lot of work around the mentality of the characters. You notice younger characters like Ruben and Stella are more optimistic than characters like David and Poppy. Um, and then you notice Clara, who essentially in the second half of the play has pretty much a monologue um, with the stars and with the multiverse itself. You sort of see her grow and accept the world around her, even though it is indeed an unjust world. Some of the design elements and choices that they took to visualize the story worked out well, while others seem to not affect the already smaller surrounding space. I don't have too much to complain about the stage center space. I've seen really good stuff there. I've seen really bad stuff there. This was not either of those per se. I would say to the wise of design elements and stuff, they were very bold in using, again, the extra TV screens, the extra lights, the more realistic props for Ruben's character. It was those little things that kind of made it a much better experience for me, thinking about it and reflecting on it now. Um, it seemed to me when reading the script that it wouldn't necessarily amount to much unless they really did a grand job on these design elements. So I think that they made the actual script itself more powerful with their rendition of the play itself. Um, Lastly, it was disappointing not to work on the set as much as the other section, but doing like the little work with it was rewarding in itself. To the sense that I felt like I was a part of a bigger project, even though some would say I wasn't. However, this was a very eye-opening class for me. I had never really thought or expected to be able to get into the world of technical theater and what goes on behind the scenes in the theater. It was very cool to learn about. As someone who really doesn't still know what they're doing after college, I think that it was just a very cool thing to be in that world. Um, so thank you so much for viewing. I hope you have a good winter break. I certainly will try to as well. Thanks so much for teaching the class. Again, I uploaded the tickets already into this folder. Um, but thank you so much for teaching. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your knowledge. Thank you so much.